coaching is still misunderstood by the many.
She's done stuff that genuinely scares her, it's like backs against the wall.
My honest answer is, I ain't got the answer yet.
When you get unplugged from that societal condition, you're like, actually, fuck me, I can go do whatever I want.
Today, I want to know the absolute truth.
Welcome to the Rich in Success podcast, the podcast that aims to define exactly what success means to you and gives you the tools to achieve this in your daily life. Hosted by action-taking mindset coach, world record holder and successful entrepreneur Matt Hall. Each week, this show brings you motivation, education and inspiration on how you can live a happier, more fulfilled and more successful life. Are you ready to take your life to the next level? If so, this is the podcast for you. Now, let today's lessons begin.
Welcome everybody to the Rich in Success podcast, the show that brings you motivation, education and inspiration in how you can live a happier, healthier, a more successful and a more fulfilling life. My name is Matt Hall, and as always, I want to say a massive thank you to every single one of you for being here, for listening to this show, and for giving us your time. Now, today's episode, I believe, is an extremely powerful episode because today I'm joined by my fellow coach and good friend, Mr. Alec Witts. Now, Alec Witts is a mindset coach and he's also a property investor. He's somebody that I've only known for about 19 months now, but I feel like he's one of the closest friends that I've got based on the fact that we share so many similar values, that we've got the same kind of beliefs, and that we've been on a real journey that for many people, the different things we've experienced in such a short space of time, many people don't go through as much as what we have in 10 years. So for that reason, I believe this is going to be a super powerful conversation. If you're in a space now where you want to move forward in your life, you want to grow, you want to achieve more, you want to discover more about who the real you is and how to actually go on to become that, this is the episode for you. Now, don't forget, if you are in a place where you're ready to do more than just listen to podcasts, more than just simply read books, and you want to take that next step, I have created the Rich in Success membership area. It's available for just £39 a month, people. I'm literally pulling my pants down to make sure everyone can get access to my content. If you head over to the Rich in Success website, which is richinsuccess.com, and also we'll put the link below in the show notes, you can join the membership area, which you can cancel at any time for just £39 a month rolling, and in there you will get access to over 40 training videos that I've created. It's all my best content around mindset, around habits, around routines, around goal setting. I've got things about how to overcome procrastination, how to overcome overwhelm, and also content around business, branding, marketing, sales, making money. Basically, I'm trying to put in there all my knowledge, experience into one hub that you can have access to at any point that you want to have access to it. But that's not all. That's right, you get even more for £39. You also get a live coaching call with me every single month. And in addition to that, I'm also going to be adding extra content with experts in their fields that are kindly giving us members-only interviews. So I've got in there nutritionists, fitness coaches, mindset coaches, business owners, entrepreneurs, authors, doctors, relationship experts, sex experts, and so much more. Everything you need to live a happier, healthier, more successful, and more fulfilled life for just £39 per month. Click the link below or go over to richinsuccess.com right now to become a Rich in Success member. Now, over to today's episode. Please enjoy episode number 142. This is Discover the Real You with mindset coach and property investor Alec Witts. Welcome, Alec.
Thank you very much.
So, first and foremost, thank you for being here. You've travelled like 3.5 hours to be with me, so I appreciate the love. That means he loves me, people. He's travelled to see me. We've just done a really cool vlog episode with your client Hannah.
Yeah.
My client.
Superstar Hannah.
Yeah, 100%. And superstar Jordan
And
Wade.
Superstar Jordan. Make
sure, if you want to see that, and you should, because that's an inspiring vlog, head over to YouTube if you're not already there on YouTube. Hey, everyone that is. And check that out. I mean, let's just dive in straight away there. Hannah, like, what's that been like for you as a coach? I mean, obviously for people listening, they don't know who Hannah is, so maybe tell them who she is. But for you helping somebody go on that journey, what's it been like?
Words can't really describe it because it's always an unknown. You know, when Hannah started with me, it was just in a personal training sense, and then she lost her first stone, and I was like, mindset coaching will be perfect, you know, let's try it. Understand your psychological process of the result you've just created so we can replicate that in other areas of your life. And at that moment in time, I didn't know she was going to lose 10 stone, get 2 pay rises at work, you know, be on the border, on the edge of her next pay rise, you know, heading towards being a supervisor, and just generally overcoming everything she has. I don't want to ruin the episode by saying what she has overcome and stuff because it's all in there, you just got to go and watch it. But Hannah is a genuine inspiration to people out there and people that are doing personal development. So I say Hannah's my most successful client, right? I've had clients at 50 grand profit in 8 months. I've had clients start brands, grow brands, you know, really flourish in their businesses, create brands and businesses out of their pain in life. But from where Hannah's come from, the lowest point to where she is now is my most successful client because she's rich. She hasn't got loads of money because everyone thinks rich is being, you know, successful, and being rich is about loads of money. Hannah's rich emotionally, mentally because of the journey that she's been on. You know, and I think that's what we'll talk about today. We've both been on journeys, and any type of personal development starts with self-discovery, isn't it?
100%.
You know?
So, I mean, Hannah, as you said, is your most successful client, and it's not about big finances and things like that she's achieved yet.
Instagram lifestyle.
That's what, because what you were saying there is basically the gloss. Oh, 50k in a couple of months. That's all the glossy stuff people buy into. What they don't buy into is the genuine grit, determination, hard work, consistently, day in, day out, that's not pretty.
Doing the shit that scares you. You know, people will get outside their comfort zone a little bit, but to do what Hannah's done, she's done stuff that genuinely scares her, you know. It's like backs against the wall, I'm going for it, you know, shaking, I'm going to do it. And that's the reality of breaking the mold of who you are. That's the reality of actually growing and making huge changes in your life, isn't it, you know? I think people get so comfortable. I used to be really, really comfortable, and that is a spiral down, and it was for me, and we'll probably get into that in a bit. A spiral of insecurity, a spiral of anxiety, you know, and just living that unfulfilled life because you don't really know anything about yourself, and you get conditioned by who you're around, you get conditioned by, you know, life, what you read in the media, on telly, and it really does shape you, and you need to be, right, this is a good analogy. If anyone's seen The Matrix, you've seen The Matrix, right? They unplug Neo, don't they? But he's in the nice life, he gets unplugged to realise actually reality is a bit shit and the machines are taking over. But it's very similar to that, but you get unplugged into the nice life because you're suddenly like, actually I'm away from that conditioning. I'm away from these societal beliefs that you should go to school, go to college, get a job, work for your whole life, then have a retirement and a pension, live a little bit, then go work in fucking B&Q because your pension's run out, you know? And that isn't the life that I dreamt for myself. And I'll talk about my property business and how that, you know, has really opened me up to that. But when you get unplugged from that societal condition, you're like, actually, fuck me, I can go do whatever I want. And then suddenly fast forward 4 years from when I started, I'm sat here with you, we just filmed an amazing episode for your YouTube channel, now I'm doing a podcast. I would never have thought this.
On a Thursday. Midweek, when we should be in our job, you know.
I used to be fitting carpets and stuff, dusty, and, you know, nothing against carpet was anything, but it wasn't for me, it wasn't what I would genuinely dreamed about doing when I was a kid. But you kind of just fall into that kind of role.
Doing what everyone else does.
Yeah.
I want to touch on something you said there that I think we should really highlight, because for both of us, we are coaches. We help people with personal development. We help them with their mindset. We help them with their careers, their jobs. We help them build businesses. But something I know you and I have spoke about a lot is generally, in particular in the UK, coaching is still misunderstood by the many.
Massive.
It's undervalued by many. There's a lot of, well, all coaching is just people telling you to be more motivated. Can't you do that for yourself? And things like that. But what's interesting is you said Hannah came to you for fitness.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? Because personal training is accepted. People see there's every gym you go to, there's 9 personal trainers. It's the norm. And I think a good thing is counselling and therapy generally is more understood and accepted, and people go to it. Coaching isn't really in the mainstream. And obviously, had Hannah have just gone to a normal PT, I don't believe necessarily she'd have got the results she had, because a lot of them aren't going to really understand the psychology like you do and be able to assist them in that way. Do you agree? Like the main bulk of the way, although physically she's lost weight, it was an internal shift that's the important bit.
So with that, losing the weight right with a normal PT is all about the physical aspect of losing weight. Calorie deficit for long enough training, you know, your output's higher than your input, fat comes off consistently over time, holding people accountable, that's cool. But with an understanding of psychology, with an understanding of human behaviour like we do have and we're trained to have, is what I understand is there's insecurities around that weight. You know, that weight, they've gone on a journey, say Hannah went on a journey to get to that weight. You know, to be obese or overweight, it's not something that happens overnight, it's progressive. And that creates certain levels of insecurities. You know, imagine life like that, you know, when it's hot and not being able to do normal things. And that does really kind of affect people's psyche. So I've highlighted that for Hannah, you know, and helped her face her insecurities, face her demons, get her outside of her comfort zone, doing things, you know, to grow in confidence. Because confidence isn't something you just talk about. Confidence it comes from understanding yourself and, you know, your own ability when you're feeling uncomfortable to be yourself. And that's what Hannah's done. So she's owned her insecurities. So now she's lost the weight. She's not, in her mind, she's not still overweight Hannah. She's now this new person. You know, and I believe that's so valuable, because if you just go on this journey and you lose the weight, you haven't challenged those insecurities. Once the glamour of everybody, oh wow, you look amazing, Madam. Once that fizzles out, no one gives a shit anymore. Then you're left with your own thoughts again. And if you haven't genuinely done the work on those thoughts, can you spiral back? You know, you can do that. And that's what I believe, you know, growth is about, is the complete change from an internal level.
Your internal identity, how you see yourself.
Identity is the right word. Yeah, you know, are you eating healthy food, or are you a healthy person? You know, are you a fit person now, or are you just a person that's lost weight and you're still an overweight person in your mind? That's so important. You know, and we're going back to coaching being really misunderstood. I think it's because a lot of people lack self-awareness, because they're so busy fucking comparing themselves to everybody else, looking outwardly and not looking inwardly. They just don't get it.
I agree.
You know?
What do you think, as a coach yourself and as somebody that's had a coach himself, comparing it to personal trainers, therapists, counselling, whatever, what do you believe the value is that people miss? What do they understand that you get from it and that you give?
Without going into the helping you understand your own psychology and personality, I think one of the biggest things is accountability.
Agreed.
Accountability, like,
and that's not a thing like that can just be like, oh, accountability. Well, you can just be accountable to anybody. Get an accountability buddy. Like, please don't undervalue the power of having professional accountability.
And that's it, the professional accountability, where that person knows when you need to be pushed, when you need to pull back, when you need to...
Bit of encouragement,
bit of
support.
Arm round, foot at the arse. Oh, you've done too much at the moment. Have a bit of a break. You know, go socialise. You know, go on a date or go do something and then come back. That's the professionalism there, which in the bigger picture makes you happy on the journey, because everyone thinks, oh, you'll be happy when? I'll be happy when I've done this. I'll be happy when I've lost a 10 stone, when I've got the money and I've got this. No, you've got to be happy now. You've got to embrace the unknown, just be happy moving forward, be grateful for what you've achieved, but just desire more, and that's okay, you know?
desiring more is the exciting bit.
It
It's,
is.
oh, there's more to do, there's more to
And
achieve.
then you realise once you get a few trinkets and you get a few results, it's not actually those things, it's not the watch, it's not the car. It's actually the process and the emotional sense of achievement that you get. And I think that's the addictive part. I get that with property as well. And all of kind of the next levels that I go to in my business, like I've just got a PA, taking a PA on. You've taken on people in your business. And people from the outside might just go, oh, okay, you've got a PA, but to let go of control, to add that, investment of expense into your business, and then hand your diary over, and the back office process is another level. And I see that as another level of success for me. And it's that sense of achievement, that I get, the emotional reward, which is the addictive part, I think.
Let's go back to the beginning.
Okay.
Not right at the beginning, unless you want to. You can go as far back as you want. But I'm interested in...
Mountain Man.
Yeah. We don't need to go to like day one, literally. But I want to hear about how you got into coaching and why, in the sense of, why did you... Because before you was a coach, you started working with a coach for you. Talk to us about that. Where were you in your life?
Let's go far back then, because like we said, the start of the journey is the self-discovery part. So went to school, didn't really like school too much. I wasn't thick, but I wasn't overly smart, and I kind of just messed around and wanted to get in with the in crowds and all of that. I finished school, didn't know what the hell I wanted to do, so I went to college, further education, doing sports, something I loved. I used to play football all the time. I used to play, when I was a teenager, I was signed with different clubs, West Brom and all of these things. And then it got to college and I was like, do you know what, I really hate this education thing, I'm done with it. And my dad at the time, bless him, gave me the best advice that he could know. And that was, why don't you just get a trade? It's a good job, get a trade, start earning money. And that, I believe, was the pivotal trap, because at that age, sort of 17 or 18 or however old I was, it was like, I don't know what to do in my life, I don't know who the fuck I am. I need to start earning some money. Let's just go earn some money, then I'll figure it all out. So then I started earning money, and I earning some money. You're going out on beers, you start to make a few financial commitments. I saved up money and bought my house at 23. Suddenly I was trapped, and I'm like, oh, okay. I was a floor layer, I was learning a skill, I enjoyed the skill, but it was never what I envisaged as a kid. It was never my dreams. And then I got trapped in that kind of condition of being an employee, and it escalated and escalated. I got more and more. I felt like I was more and more trapped.
Did you feel that at the time? Like, when did you start to feel it was a trap?
Do you know what? I don't know if I actually thought it was a trap, but looking back now, I kind of
you can see it
was a trap. Yeah.
And that's the important bit, because how many people just maybe don't quite feel fulfilled, but they don't know why.
Don't know why, yeah. And it's until you kind of go on it. I did have an epiphany one day, but I used to be the type of person where I would live for the weekend. I would go out and piss my money up against the wall. Like, you might see, focused, fit, determined, whatever you want to phrase it as now, driven, successful even, to a certain extent. But I used to go out and get pissed every weekend. I used to be really insecure. I used to be, one of these guys that play football at the weekend. I'd go on the piss afterwards, I'd go pull girls, get absolutely out of my face. And it was all kind of driven from insecurity and wanting to be liked. I would dilute my personality, I had loads of friends, groups of friends. I just wanted to be liked. And it's through personal development, right? Doing my own personal development where I discovered why. And I'll say this openly. So when I was sort of 13, I was signed by a professional football club. This is where it started to create this internal desire to be liked, because at such a young age, when you're vulnerable, you're going through hormonal changes, 13, 14, 15. I was signed for West Brom. I live in Cheltenham, or a little town outside of Cheltenham called Tewkesbury, which is quite country, it's quite rural, it's on the edge of the Cotswolds. West Brom was in a city. So I was signed for West Brom, and at school I would get people, hey, fucking is big time, all of that. Doing he thinks he's always all that. Kind of looking back would be jealousy.
Isn't it funny? If you do well, you get picked on. If you do shit, you get picked on.
Yeah, exactly. So then I'd go to West Brom, which was a city, and I didn't fit in because I was a country bumpkin, is what I got called. So I felt quite alone and singled out.
So you're changing your personality depending on
like,
what environment you're in.
Everywhere I go, nobody likes me.
Yeah.
Or everybody takes the piss.
Yeah.
And it got to a stage where that was affecting me. You know, and when I was 13, there wasn't this kind of widespread understanding of personal development or mental health, if you want to call it.
It wasn't even a talk of that. Like mental health now is so, for younger people, thankfully, is a big conversation.
Thankfully, yeah.
I don't remember that at school.
No, not me. That would have been so helpful back then. But knowing now is just helping me to understand that being felt like I was on my own everywhere I went, created that internal desire to want to be liked, to need to be liked, to dilute who I was, to just, okay, I'll just change so Matt likes me.
Yeah.
You know, if Matt thinks, you know, Apple's really good, I think Apple's really good, so I can just be liked. So going out at the weekends, adding that with, you know, getting pissed and all of that, it just created this person that I'd become. And when I woke the fuck up, I was like, I don't like this person. It's not really me. It's not who I dreamed about becoming. And where the fuck is he going?
Yeah.
Where am I going in my life? So
where do you think you could have gone? Where do you think, had you not discovered personal development?
Well, to be honest, I'm probably downplaying it a little bit because the company I worked for, you know, I was extremely grateful. There was an opportunity to eventually kind of take the reins of that company. It was, my brother-in-law was one of the business directors, you know, and that was kind of a really good career avenue, but I just realised it wasn't what I wanted. You know, it was
how
a great
damaging
choice.
is that?
And because it's that conditioning of, oh, you've got a good job, go, you know, get a trade. A trade is a good job because you can always earn money. You can always do it. It's a skill that never leaves you, you know. And it would just be deemed by society as a good thing to do, to just stay there and then to step up and run the company. But I always wanted to build my own thing, and I could only just feel that I wouldn't feel fulfilled because I'd be taking on somebody else's and then running it and never have actually built my own thing. So that was the point where I was like...
I think the important bit there is you'd have never tried to.
Yeah.
I think you can try it and think, oh, it's not actually for me, but not have regret of not knowing.
That's the word. That's what I was just going to say. And I'd regretted the last 15 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it wasn't, you know, I felt like I was underachieving.
Yeah.
Put it that way. That's the word. I felt like nothing against Flooring, the old company or anything like that. You know, I'm really grateful for the skills that I learned and everything like that. But I can't deny that inside I felt like I was underachieving. And then I had to take steps backwards, which is what people don't want to do. You know, I was on 30 grand a year, owned my own house, was extremely fucking comfortable. So comfortable. I had to take like 3 steps back even to, right, now I've got to start a side business. And that was property. And I saw property as, right, okay, property can be a business that will give me the lifestyle that I want. Understanding my values were freedom and independence, which a job doesn't give you, or an employee role doesn't give you. That property business could release me to do whatever I wanted. But that was delayed gratification. That was long term, big term. And then I got into the shape of my life, started hitting the gym, realised that, you know, I've always liked fitness. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a personal trainer in the army at some stage. After I wanted to be a fireman and a Superman and, you know, a hero and all of that
like
stuff.
You do.
And a footballer.
Yeah.
And yeah, so personal training, you know, started to... I did the level 3 and then I did NLP as well because I started to understand that actually there's a psychological aspect to changing your body and all of that. And what I learned about myself was I was fucking good at it. I was really good at coaching people because I've got this like self-discovery of understanding that in the friendship groups I had, I was always the counsellor, mate. People would come to for advice because I'm quite calm in you know, my persona, and they would come to me with their troubles. But the difference was I was insecure then, so I would try and give them my best advice, but it wouldn't come from a congruent place. Now, fast forward to now, I'm giving people, could you call it advice, coaching, but from a real congruent place of actually challenging my own demons, taking the few steps back, doing the work and actually becoming that person. So I found that coaching people, whether it was physical and now it's progressed into mindset, now it's progressing into business and property, you know, that journey, is just extremely natural and I love it. It's not a job. It's kind of the whole cliche, it's my purpose to help other people. You know, and it's that self-discovery that we've been talking about.
What led you to get your own coach? And did you know about coaching? Did you know about personal development? What was personal development?
I knew personal development. I discovered that through property. So I did a property course with my best mate and business partner, Philip. Discovered personal development there, but it was a little bit airy-fairy, fluffy, the secret type of stuff. You know, you've got to take action to be successful in property, which you haven't, you know, with anything. And I kind of discovered it then. But when I first met my personal development coach, mentor back then, I didn't really know what I was buying. I was just buying his energy and his confidence in his persona, and maybe where he'd come from. And it just felt right to do it. And then suddenly I started to discover a few more things about myself, become a little bit more self-aware.
Yeah.
And really actually saw a way out of where I was, you know, because I did feel a little bit trapped. 30 grand a year, mortgage, you know, bills, all of the normal stuff. How do you then break away from that to be a business owner, to be self-employed in a completely new industry like property? You know, I've been a floorer for 15 years. That's half my life. That's all I knew. So it was extremely scary to think, right, actually, what I want, I've got to become more of a person. I'm not that person now. I'm not congruently confident. I get anxiety, you know, or I feel anxious before doing things that I need to be doing to move me forward. And I was like, well, this is the right thing to do, you know. And fast forward to now, it was the right decision.
For somebody that doesn't get personal development, what would you say it is? What's kind of your definition? What is personal development about? What do you do?
I think it's shining the light on yourself. It's highlighting your past experiences, how they may have shaped you to the person that you are now, shaped your values and shaped your beliefs in life about what life should be. I believe that it then, like I said at the beginning, unplugs you from the matrix a little bit to go, oh, hang on a minute, I'm this type of person, but I've been living in this culture that isn't me. Like, I was in a football culture, so it was like, oh, training on a Wednesday, loads of banter with the lads, we go and play football on a Saturday, when we go get pissed, then, you know,
rinse and repeat.
Wake up on Sunday morning, play football, and my mate would have to come pick me up from the bird's house that I slept at, and that culture.
Yeah.
And that culture, for me personally, how I found that was all of this banter was just insecure people in a social environment putting other people down to lift themselves up, and it became quite toxic for me. So I would, going back to your question, I would say personal development is actually understanding that you're different to your environment, and to go seek an environment and other people that serve you better, and liberate yourself
And grow.
Yeah,
Starts with self-awareness.
Not go from low to neutral, like we spoke about this morning. It's go from low to neutral, or from insecure to secure. But then where the fuck are we going? You know, where are you going with your life? You take the reins. That's the exciting bit.
Because also, if you don't continually grow, what once made you confident or, you know, secure, as you just said there, you'll start to then go backwards because
you get comfortable again.
You get comfortable again, so you're no longer going to be confident because you're no longer achieving. You know, confidence comes from a feeling of, I'm proud of myself for doing that or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's super important, and I think that's why when we're working with people long term, that's why you see genuine fulfillment in those people, because it's continual growth, it's continual work. And that's not a negative thing. People can think, oh, when does it ever end then? Yeah. Like, what are we striving for? And it's like, no, you're missing the point. We're not striving for an end goal. We're striving for every day feeling the best we can feel.
And seeing where that takes you.
And just seeing what comes out of it.
And that's why I think personal development and the coaching industry is so misunderstood, because you're not actually selling an end result, really. No. You are kind of saying, right, okay, I can help you achieve your goals. But when you get on the journey, you're like, okay, my goals need to progress, they need to evolve for me to keep moving forward. And you don't actually say, right, as a coach, here's something tangible. When you pay me, you're going to get this. It's you're betting that payment for somebody's time and energy on your potential, and you get access to the result. You still got to fucking work. Yeah. You don't pay 50p and get a Mars bar and you've got it. You've got to do the work. And that's the bit I think is the disconnect.
So anybody that's followed us on social media, they will know that we both competed in the PCA men's physique bodybuilding competition. Something neither of us had done before. We were first timers. Today, I want to know the absolute truth. No holding back. How was that experience for you?
Different. I learned a lot about myself. There was so many aspects that I did quite enjoy, and there was a lot that I didn't. I believe, actually, something that people don't know about, I went through probably one of the lowest times of my life. 6 weeks out, moving into the show, emotionally, probably amplified by us being on low food, because it was really, really hard. And
I think this is interesting that people hear this, because this is only 2 months ago.
Only 2 months ago, yeah.
And we talk about how much you've overcome, and you're now a person that's helping other people daily, saying that just 2 months ago you was in one of the lowest places.
Yeah, and let's just get open with it. So the bodybuilding show is a 4-month prep. It's a long, long, long time. I believe that a few things kind of happened in the background with our mentor at the time, which changed his behaviour. And that relationship for me personally started to become quite toxic for me. It was a trigger for anxiety. I felt trapped. I felt overly restricted, not just from the diet, but just from that, experience. Then
we were micromanaged.
Micromanaged.
Both of us.
Micromanaged, and it was too restrictive for me. I felt like I couldn't fucking fart.
Yeah, agreed. I felt the same.
So this is just being open and honest, which, just that feeling alone is quite destructive. Everything that I said or did was wrong, and I had to, comply. Also, my girlfriend at the time broke up with me, and we weren't together long, but because I believe I'm quite emotionally intelligent, right? I've been single for a long time. I met this girl, and I let my walls down after 4 or 5 years. And then she took a massive U-turn.
Because you weren't looking for somebody.
No, that's it.
We've spoke about this a lot. We've both got to a place where we've had previous relationships, been hurt bad and all the rest of it. Then we've been on this self-discovery journey, and we're the most competent and kind of happy with ourselves than we've ever been. So much so, we don't actually need many other people in our life. We don't need a partner right now. So we're in a good place anyway.
I had this mindset as well, that I'm so driven on what it was that I was doing that a partner would only detract from that.
But then
have to consider somebody else. Which
they'd have to really bring something at the table to consider.
Probably goes against emotional intelligence. I didn't realise how powerful that could be over here. So that's a lesson I learned from it. But
then she came in.
She came in out of nowhere. Oh, I'm not looking for this, not looking for that. She came out of nowhere. I'm like, fucking hell.
I saw a big shift in you then.
Yeah.
That was, I saw this really almost like playful, childlike Alec that was just high on life.
Yeah.
I just saw that huge lift.
Yeah.
And it was one of them.
I was so happy at that point. Then
you wouldn't stop talking about it.
I wouldn't. I was chewing your ears.
But that's how you know. No, but in a really, that's how you know it's really means something to you.
Yeah. So that ended over text message. And because I let my walls down, there were big indications along the process that it was safe for me to let my walls down emotionally, that I've been up solid for years. Because I committed, genuinely, I was sat across from her one time, we were having a meal with her son and stuff. I think, this is my little family, that's how I was thinking. So I committed so deeply and congruently. Because if I was to put a label on it, boyfriend and girlfriend, you shouldn't put that label on it unless you're committed. I don't believe.
I agree.
So I'm committed emotionally, mentally, and all in. I was like, have the chips all in. So then when I got dumped, and that's the perfect word for it, fucking hell, I crashed, in my mind and stuff. And I think the bodybuilding show then was actually quite good because it was a purpose for me. I had to stay focused. I couldn't go out and get pissed.
Yeah.
I couldn't go out and do whatever to mask the pain.
Yeah.
So I had to deal with the pain, the emotional pain, with the other pain of being micromanaged. So I believe that's made me even stronger as a person. I've learned massively about myself, because I just kept reinforcing to myself that this is just a process. Yeah, you feel shit. Yeah, you feel hurt. Yeah, you feel all of these emotions that you feel. this is a process, and I've just got to ride it out. I just got to ride it out, and it just made me stronger as a person. I think you really helped. This is what brought me and you together even closer. You're a really good friend and allowed me to talk it out. And this, something I learned about myself is I say to clients, if something happens, you've got personal development's about, or setting a goal is becoming the person that can achieve it and dealing with what life throws at you, right? So I had to deal with what life threw at me to still move forward to achieve the bodybuilding goal. What I learned about myself was, in those times, you can't suppress emotion. We spoke about this before this morning. You can't suppress emotion because you're burying it alive, and it'll come up as a scary ghoul in anxiety, anger, in some destructive way, right? So you have to express. And what I learned about myself, the way I express, is that just talking, venting. I don't cry. I can't remember the last time I cried. And that's not, oh yeah, I'm manly or anything. I just don't.
That's not your way.
It's not my way. So what I learned was I had to just talk it out. And by doing that, it became from a negative to a massive positive. What I learned from that, I believe she gave me a gift, because I learned about myself. I'm ready for that life partner when I never thought I was. And it's matured me up a little bit emotionally, it's matured me up a bit, and I'm ready for a new stage in my life. So, there you go, personal development, that self-awareness, always taking the lesson from something that could be overlooked as negative. If there's 99% negative, that 1% positive is what you should focus on and take the lessons on. Otherwise, that always has a power over you, and you're not truly released.
And I also think something you touched upon there, which is an important thing to give the listeners, is when you're going through a genuine emotional struggle and a challenge in your life, for you it was a breakup there, the bodybuilding competition was a blessing. Why? Because you had to focus on you, something that we can control, being the best you can be. When people go through breakups, the common thing they do, focus on things they can't control. So they're focusing on, they just want the partner back, but the partner's made the decision. And then it becomes self-destructive because they feel disempowered. So that's when they go to alcohol, drugs, out, all that. You couldn't actually do that, which actually helped you get through it. So the message there is simple. If you are going through a challenging time, number one, don't focus on the things you can't control. And number two, don't look to mask it with external things. Focus on you growing. What's something you can set yourself a personal goal that's going to require your focus, your time, your energy, something that you can control, that at the end of, you will have grown and you'll feel proud. And then that in itself is going to help you to move forward. And I think that's something that a lot of people are not aware of. They don't think like that. With the bodybuilding then, would you compete again?
Right now, I would say no, because my energy and focus is going into my property business that I've had for 4 years. Something I value is being part of a team, and that business, I'm in business with my best friend. I love working with him. We are like brothers from other mothers. So I get a lot out of that, and it's my bigger picture to build that. That's going to give me the life that I desire. So all my energy is going into that, because over the past 4 years, from the mentor that I had, I'm grateful for helping me become the person I am now. Become a congruent coach, a good personal trainer. But his advice was always trying to take me away from property. So I was growing that with very little energy, in the shadows, away from social media, and now I'm not working with that mentor anymore. Now I want to put my full attention into that business. You can't just go, right, I'm busy. Especially with property, there's lots of research, there's a big snowball that you've got to build. Even though the company's progressing and there is momentum there, not enough for me to be full-time. So I'm in another transitional period now where it's like, right, okay, let's start putting more work into that. Let's start changing the perception of my audience as well to more property focus, because I've done what I've done in property. Philip and I have been extremely successful. We're just buying our 10th house. The company is based on helping people earn money on their money, so they invest. If you've got savings, you're getting 0. Jack shit from the bank, aren't you? You invest in us. we can give you 10% on that for a year. That money we use, put it into the property market, do our thing. You get your money back at the end of the term with 10% on top. We get a cash flow and asset out of it. It's a win-win situation, which is based on creating win-wins for people. You know, so we've done really, really well. 4 years of little energy, well, not 100% focused to get it to 10 properties, you know. Now I'm really excited to be like, right, 100% energy when it requires 100% energy. Like I said, I've got to, you know, still work in my coaching business and personal training business, but build the property business back up, because you can't just get busy.
Yeah.
But it's like, you've got to get busy, but you can't just be busy, you know, 100%, because you've got to have that assertive patience, and you've got to be patient for things to come to fruition. You know, you've got to be patient for the result, but you've got to be assertive every single day of the work. So yeah, that's where I'm at now. I wouldn't rule out competing again, because I think if I had the right coach that can align with me, it could be a really enjoyable experience. But at the moment, I would say I've got no reason to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going down the fitness influencer route. I'm not, you know, going down a bodybuilding route. It's not something that aligns with my values. My values are freedom and independence, two of my main ones. Bodybuilding is over restriction, you know, which is the opposite end of the scale. It's not how I want to live my life. So yeah, I would say no. What about yourself? Because you got British Finals invite, so you got a result.
Yeah.
Or an accolade. That's something as well. By the way, I don't value accolades. I don't give a shit about trophies and people thinking I'm the man and all that. I don't value that. So then, for 4 months of over restriction, for an accolade, for me, it's just not.
The trade-off isn't worth it.
No, not at all. One thing that I have got a lot of pride from that show was the gym that I'm a member of, Real Steel in Tewkesbury. There's a lot of young members, which I didn't really realise. All kind of been watching the journey, really inspired, and people have come up to me and, you know, said some really nice things. You know, you've inspired me to lose more weight. You've inspired me to maybe compete myself one day and all that. I'm like, Jesus. So I also got sponsored by that gym. They bought my board shorts. We've got the excuse me, we've got the logo on them. And now I put it together, had it made into a big memento, like a big picture frame. There's my shorts, there's a PCA medal, there's 2 pictures of me, it's got the Real Steel badge. And this week's been put up in the gym. It's like a Hall of Fame thing. Lewis is getting, the owner, he's getting a plaque made. And just hopefully, like, I look at that and I'm like, I'm so proud of that, because what I went through there is now inspiring other people. And that's another big value of mine. Going through the pain, the emotional pain and all of that stuff to achieve it, to inspire other people to just make, you know, one day better in their life is brilliant. So much pride from that.
Yeah. And I feel like that's what we did. We achieved what we needed to. We proved to ourselves we could do it and inspired other people along the way.
So would you do another show?
I don't think so.
No. You could, it's such a big ask. You've got to have the passion for it, haven't you? I think.
And I don't think either of us really did.
No. I don't think so.
I don't think we ever really did. Am I glad I did it? 100%
Yeah,
yes.
100%.
100%. But there's no need for me to do it again.
No, exactly the same.
The trade-off isn't worth the outcome.
No. And I've also, I kind of don't like bodybuilding anymore, because I've unfollowed a lot of bodybuilders, like professional bodybuilders, because I just look at it and I just think, you know, that just doesn't align with me. Bodybuilding doesn't represent what I'm about when it comes to health and fitness.
It's not a healthy lifestyle.
It's an extremity.
Yeah.
And I think health and fitness is happiness. You know, there's so much more to it. I've spoke about this a lot on my social media, like an 80-20 balance.
Yeah.
80% really hard-working discipline. Let's talk from that fitness angle of managing your calories. You know, having your calories in the right place to have the physique that you want. Training really hard, being disciplined, focused, consistent. Then 20% go be a little bit naughty. You know? Live life.
Where's the strippers? We're on that 20% now. We've done this podcast.
You know, eat some shit, go out for meals, just, you know, do all of that stuff that keeps you alive, keeps you fun, keep feeling fun. But then it's like, right, back to the discipline, because that means you're in control then, for me personally,
Correct.
of a fit, healthy lifestyle, because the 20% is health, because it makes you happy for that time. But then I know once I've done that 20%, I'm like, oh, I'm bored of that now. I don't like the hangovers, or I feel like flabby, chubby. I feel that inside. So I'm like, right, let's get disciplined again, you know. And then, but bodybuilding is just not that for me. And respect to people that do it, because fair play, it's fucking hard, you know, to dedicate your life to that. I'm not playing it down. I'm just saying it's not for me. It's not for me.
I want to talk about relationships. I want to talk about dating, because you touched upon there, you realise that actually I am ready for somebody. But here's the thing that I'll be honest, I'm struggling about this. I did an episode of this podcast, 30 Truths About Life and Business at 30. And I can't remember the exact question, but something about, you know, balancing entrepreneurship and the lifestyle that we lead as, you know, business owners that run different companies. We're coaches that have a lot of people that need us. It's not working set hours. Balancing that with a relationship. And I said, listen, my honest answer is I ain't got the answer yet. I'm like, because there's a few things going on. It's finding a person that understands what we do, because everyone says work-life balance. It's like, but when you're passionate about your work, you don't see it as work. It's just part of your life.
It's just
yeah?
life. Yeah.
Exactly. So there's that. But also, and please don't misunderstand this, listeners, but this is just a genuine conflict I've got going on right now in my life, which is why I want to discuss it with you in front of all the listeners. Why not? Is when you are at a certain level of your own personal development and your own mindset, your own self-awareness, you can often date girls or speak to people in general and be like, oh God, like you just hear phrases and you're like...
Do you feel lonely because...
Very lonely.
Because of what we do, understanding people.
But when it comes to finding love, which we both want to do, right?
Yeah.
How do you find that with regards to, this is the conflict I'm getting, someone that's physically attractive enough to get my juices flowing, combined with mentally attractive enough.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you get to a stage where not many people understand life like we do, as people that have really dedicated a lot of it to personal development. How are you finding that? And I suppose the question is, will we ever find that person? Do they exist?
I've got the perfect answer, or what I'm employing in my life at the moment. And
I'm so glad, because I need this answer.
Right. So it's self-belief, right? I believe that when I'm the right person, I will attract the right person into my life. So I've got work to do, man. On myself, on me.
Based on the sort of person you want to attract.
Yeah. So I need to just focus on my shit, keep doing my shit, and then that person will present themselves, but be open-minded, not single-tracked minded. You know, be open-minded to, oh, I might go on a date here. I might, you know, okay, let's message this person back rather than delete and block. Or, you know, because let's face it, I know you do as well, get a lot of messages on Instagram because we show up, we're confident. You know, I've done a photo shoot recently where I've been top off and stuff. I get loads of messages, and I'm just like, if you're messaging me in that way, then I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? So I just believe that when I'm the person, the universe will reward me with the person that I deserve and I want and I desire. So it just comes back to just believing that it's going to happen. Faith.
And hard work. And it goes back to the point we made there about focus on what you can control.
Now I'm excited to be fully focused on my property business. There's a lot of networking. There's a lot of amazing people that I've met through property that are entrepreneurial, that are this way. So I will need, now the world's opening up from coronavirus, get out networking again, you know, and getting into other networks and getting into that whole kind of entrepreneurial space. I believe I'll meet someone over there, you know. I just believe that will happen. When? Fuck knows. Hopefully it's soon, but, you know, it will happen when it happens. Just got to focus on my shit.
Love it.
It's the same, it's just those same attributes of achieving a goal. Any goal, business goal, fitness goal, life goal, partner goal. Focus on what you control, keep doing the work, believe it's going to happen. And I believe it will.
That was power. Also, we said at the beginning of the show, your most successful client, Hannah. She's actually here in the house.
Yeah.
Hannah, do you want to pop on the podcast? I think we need to speak to Hannah before we finish. So obviously we don't want to give everything away, because if people want to know your full journey, they need to head over to the vlog, of course. But Alec has just said that you are his most successful client. So I just want to hear a little bit about what it's been like working with Alec and what specifically that he's helped you on.
So working with Alec has been truly incredible. You know, I'm still continuing to work with him, and genuinely, it's been one of the most life-changing experiences of my entire 24 years of living on this earth. Like, it's just been absolutely amazing, and I have loved every single second of it. Of course, there are tough points in coaching. There always is. But during those tough points, you know, that's where I've really learned. That's where I've really developed myself. So what I've actually achieved with Alec is so many things. You know, I've lost 10 stone in weight, which is incredible. I've actually gained 2 promotions and working on my 3rd. And also I've really worked on my mindset and really developed into a brand new person, I would say. Like,
We all saw that today, like the confidence and the passion and the positivity from being in the room with you is absolutely unbelievable. Knowing your story, knowing that you used to be a person that couldn't look people in the eye, you know, really, really lacked self-belief, self-confidence. I mean, just tell the listeners a little bit, how low did things get for you?
So, how low things got for me was the fact that I was severely depressed. You know, based from what I spoke about on the vlog, you know, I did actually attempt suicide, and I used to self-harm. That's how low it got.
Yeah. And okay, so for anybody that's listening now that's heard that, what would be your advice based on how did you start to come out of that, and how did you start to move into being the person you are now?
So what I did was I literally just something triggered in my mind, and I knew I had to get better, you know, and I made that decision in my head. You know, it's all around that decision you make in yourself that you want to change. And it's all around wanting to change, and that's what I did. I knew I wanted to change. I wanted to become happier. I wanted to become healthier, and that's exactly what I did.
You went all in on your decision, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
What's it like for you hearing that, as the guy that's helped facilitate her growth?
It makes me emotional, and like I said earlier, I don't express emotion by crying, but I feel in, like my heart's going inside, and I feel like an overwhelm of pride, and sometimes I think, Jesus, man, I've helped facilitate that. I'm like, fucking hell, that change from, you know, imagine if Hannah didn't meet me, what would have happened? Because she was low, you know, catch it on the vlog, you know, it's fucking mad, you know, and I think that those places, you know, where Hannah was, if people are there, they do hide it quite well, you know, it's not ready information, you know, people don't notice really, which is the scary part.
Really scary.
Really, really scary part, but yeah, like I say, she's my most successful client because of where she's come from, the process that she's been on, you know, it's emotional, man. I'm just losing words to say because it, you know, it makes me go like that.
Well, for you, you know, we talk a lot about on this podcast about success. A big part of it is fulfillment. And there's that phrase, the art of living is giving. And I don't think there's much more fulfillment you can get than when you genuinely change a human being's life for the better.
Yeah.
And that's what we do for a living, right?
I said this the other day, somebody who's just starting their level 3 personal training, and I said, mate, you don't know what you're in for, the emotional reward that you get from this job, if you want to call it that, you know, being the facilitator for change, positive change in people, you know, where you've been that catalyst for them to go out and do what it is, whatever they're doing, you know, be more healthy, you know, be more happy. Like Hannah's recently got a new boyfriend, she's experiencing new things with it, you know.
Bloody hell, I've got all the relationship right. Hannah, we're having a chat after this. I need help, man. I need some coaching on that.
You know, sitting in a room, you know, self-harming and stuff, she wasn't going to get a boyfriend doing that. And she's so happy and experiencing new things and going off at the weekends, doing this, doing that, you know. She wouldn't have done that. And I just look at it and I you know.
It's the most fulfilling thing, isn't it? And that's something now, Hannah, that you're passing on, in that you've set up a Facebook group, inspiring others, you know, giving motivation daily. What's your mission with that, and how does it feel for you now? Not only have you taken yourself out of the darkest, most difficult place, personally, but because you had the courage and the strength and the resilience to push out of that, you now can help others. What does that feel like?
My mission for my Facebook group, Hannah's Weight Loss and Mindset Support Group, is honestly more than inspiration. It's actually to physically help people with their weight loss. That's my mission in life. You know, I really want to become a personal trainer myself.
Yeah, tell everyone, Hannah, what are our plans? What's our goals?
World domination.
Yeah, exactly that. My plans are actually to become a level 3 certified personal trainer.
Amazing.
Online, in order to help people with their weight loss, but also it's maybe even to become a coach myself to help people in their mindset at the same time, based on the journey that I've been on.
Because you know that's the important bit, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you couple the theory with the experience. The personal experience becomes the power. Most people miss the personal experience; they go straight for the theory. You know, so you know, there's so much opportunity and exciting future.
Definitely.
But it's always a process. You can never rush it. Like I said, my property business, it's a transition. It's not right, let's do it.
Takes time.
Takes time.
And already you getting feedback, people that you're inspiring.
Yes, I've already got positive change in there. You know, there's a few members who is actually working who was actually in the gym working on their weight loss, which is incredible.
Wow.
And they've actually messaged me saying thank you for the inspiration that I've given them, and that is an incredible feeling that you really can't replicate. It's such an incredible feeling.
And also as well, credit to Hannah, because when I started going through the transition from floor layer to personal training, property investor online from a social media aspect, let's face it, that's our window to inspire people and marketing and stuff like that. But the online kind of audience have a perception of you, which I had to change from a floor layer and a party boy and getting pissed in a football person to what I wanted to become. My engagement was so low, and it's so hard because you're putting all this value out there that you feel is your best stuff, and nobody's even liking it. Hannah's kind of in that stage at the moment, which is great because I can just reinforce her every day. She said, "Oh, I put this bit of content out there. The value is there, but it's got no engagement." And I'm like, "Trust me, I've been through this process. People are watching, people are taking the value. Don't focus on the engagement, the likes and all of that. Don't place your emotional state on that validation. Place your emotional state on the value that you put out. If you believe that is a good post with good value that can help somebody and influence someone, be an influencer, then just stick with that."
Yeah.
And then people then start to inbox and go, "Oh, I've lost this weight because you've inspired me." They've never fucking liked a post.
Yeah.
So that's the process that Hannah's in with kind of her personal brand at the moment. And I suppose by saying that to anyone that is listening that does want to start a personal brand or is in those early stages, focus on the value in your message, not on the engagement. The engagement comes after. I can put out a fluffy post to get 50 likes now. It doesn't even matter. But I'll put out pieces of value, and I've built that engagement. Hannah's just got to go through that process. Yeah.
Alec and Hannah, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on, Matt. I've really enjoyed today.
I'm really grateful for you both being here, for sharing your journeys so openly and honestly, which you both really have done, because I think that's where you can really help others. And I think there's a lot of people out there painting these idealistic versions of themselves. Yeah. There's no value in that shit. Like we've talked, I'm speaking openly about, I'm struggling with the relationship stuff here, right? Me and Hannah were having a chat afterwards. She's going to sort me out, give me some dating advice. But that's the thing, we're all just being completely honest, and I'm grateful to you both for doing that. Just if people want to check you both out online, we'll start with you, Alec, then you, Hannah. Where can people find you if they want to see your content? Let the people know.
Facebook, Alec Witts. Witts is WITTS. Instagram, I'm Alec Thomas Henry, and my website is alecwittsmindset.co.uk. There you go. Type that into Google. I'm just about to get on LinkedIn. Just starting on Clubhouse, so they're the same handles, Alec Thomas Henry on there. Hannah.
So for me, to find me, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. So just find me, Hannah Green, from my personal Facebook. I post a lot of my content on there. Also, find me on my Facebook group, Hannah's Weight Loss and Mindset Support Group. It's a private group, so feel free to click on to join, and I will accept you. I'll approve your invitation. Also, I'm on Instagram, Positivity Power Corner, and I, of course, post a lot of my personal journey on there as well.
Okay, so there you go. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Rich in Success podcast. A truly inspiring conversation. And I just want to let you know as well, if you want to get even more value from Alec Witts, do become a Rich in Success member. He's kindly agreed to do an additional members-only interview where he's going to be giving his 5 tips on how to improve your mindset, and this is truly valuable stuff. Remember, if you become a Rich in Success member, you get access to over 40 training videos that I've put in there, as well as a live coaching call with me every single month as part of the group, and you'll also get additional content being added weekly from guest experts like Alec here today. That's just £39 per month, and the link to become a member is in the description below. Just before we finish, Alec, what is your definition of success?
My definition of success is being fulfilled mentally, physically, emotionally and financially, having enough money, enough purpose, the body, the health and the happiness to live the life that you want to live, and genuinely just live life on your terms.
Alec Witts, Hannah Green, thank you very much.
Matthew Hall.
And me, Matthew Hall. Cheers, guys. Seriously.
Thanks very much for having us, mate. It's been a phenomenal day. Really enjoyed it. And just it's great to share Hannah's story, share my story a little bit. I've never really spoke about that. And just, with that intention of helping other people, because we are real people, Let's talk about quickly. With coaching, it's very misunderstood, and what people perceive it to be is these superhuman, super successful, super motivated, super perfect and super rich people. But they're not. They're people that understand that humans are human. People that understand how you keep moving forward consistently. All of the little tips and strategies and models that you need to do to keep making that consistent progress, because it's the small things that compound, it's not the big things.